Why, hello there. In this video I'm going to show you how to ink enable your Infragistics NetAdvantage Windows Forms powered applications using one of the components in the NetAdvantage toolbox called the WinInkProvider alongside with the Microsoft Inc SDK version 1.7. So first and foremost, if you want to build ink enabled apps, you need to download the Microsoft Inc SDK. So you want to fire up your browser and do a search for that. As you can see, I've done that before, so download Microsoft Inc SDK, and within the first search results, or several of them, you'll get a link from Microsoft.com and you'll be able to download it. Now, this version is 1.7. This is the latest version of the Inc SDK, and we have two components in our NetAdvantage library. One Inc component works with the older version if you ever have that older version of this. But if you're working with 1.7, you want to use the newer version of that, and I'll show you how all that works momentarily. So I've already gone and installed this, so we're ready to rock and roll. And what you want to do is you want to go to your references and add the references to Microsoft.Inc and Microsoft.Inc.Resources. This is installed somewhere in C program files, x86, Microsoft Inc SDK, and there's a folder in there that contains these assemblies, and these are the guys you want to add. So once you're done with that, you're ready to go. Now what you need to do is on every form that you want to enable with Inc, you need to go and find the WinInkProvider component and throw it onto your form. It's a component that exists in the component area of your form. Now the other thing that you need to know is, first of all, why are there two components? Well, one of them points to the older version of the SDK, another component points to the newer version, 1.7. So you can double click on both of them and add one and then the other to your form. So I'm going to do that right now because I'll just show you, just to be safe than sorry. I now have one and the other. And what you want to do is you want to basically go to your references again and locate the Infragistics.WinInkProvider references. You have one that's for 1.7 and one for the older one. Delete the older one, just like I'm doing right now, and then just delete one of these guys here, and then you're good to go. So it's just the references for that. So looks like the first one is the one that you want to use. So let's just build it, make sure that we got the right one. And the other thing you could do is you could delete both of these guys from your toolbox, then navigate directly to the Infragistics assemblies and drag and drop the 1.7 Inc assembly directly into your toolbox, and that will always be the right one. So that's how you can do this. Alright, so that's basically all we have to do. Let's run it and let's check it out. So the form loads up, and now every Infragistics editor on this form will automatically show up and show you this little ink icon as I mouse over. Now granted, I do not have this running on a tablet PC, but if you have it running on a tablet PC, you can take your stylus out and tap it, and it will pop up this little dialog that shows up here. And then you could use your ink to write stuff on here. But let's go over a couple of the features here. So this is a numeric field editor, so you know that numbers only could go in here. We could click on symbols and numbers, and if we want to type numbers in, we could just go here, go for these symbols. We could move between keyboard mode and ink mode. So if we want to go to keyboard mode, like we're able to start typing things in here. We have all these other guys available, like caps lock and backspace and all these other characters. Then we could highlight stuff and cut, undo, paste. So all these things, paste, paste, paste. Undo, undo, undo. So you see all these things that are available within this actual thing that pops up. So that's basically how you would ink enable your app, and it's very simple. And the other thing I want to show you, let's see, do I have any date fields here? I'll show you what happens with date. So pop that up. So notice that we now have formatted date entry as well. So each one of these you can put stuff in there. Like I'm just going to scribble garbage in there, but that's how it works. Like if I wanted to do something like 1 or 2, I could do that. And again, I'm just using my mouse here, but notice that this is an invalid date. So anytime you're working with date fields in the Inc UI, if it's not valid, it's going to look red and it's not going to be valid. So let's put 12, that'll be valid. let's do something crazy like 3, then that's, that is possible if you want to, for that. It's a valid date in the future, past all the sci-fi stuff. But this is how it works. So then you could not accept or accept anything you do. So if I change to 97 and accept it, that changes my date. So that's pretty much how it works. And then again, if I just pop this up and jump back to ink mode, I could start doing stuff here. Like I could just chop all that out and start typing other things. If I do stuff like that, that's how it works. Then we have gestures. Like I forgot all the gestures over the years, but I think it's like that's backspace, backspace, and there's a few more that that you can check out in our documentation. But gestures, allow you to do stuff. Move space, add a space, backspace, backspace. As you see me dragging here. So now that you know how easy it is to use this, I suggest that you just go out there and ink enable your apps. It's a cool feature to have. It's pretty cool to have, even if like you're not running this on an actual tablet PC, because it's kind of fun to get this up here and play around with it. Because sometimes you ever get lazy, you don't want to touch your keyboard, just do everything on a mouse. You can do that. And also on every single Infragistics editor-based control that can support ink, there's a property on there called ink enabled, and if you set it to false, it will not show this ink icon. By default, everything will show the ink icon unless you set it to false. So now that you know how this works, go out there and check it out, because it's pretty fun to work with, and it adds another feature to your entire app with very little effort.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.